Hi everyone, I am going to talk about the Battle of Trenton and Battle of Saratoga. And it's deceiving because there are several battles within each one. Battle of Trenton and Princeton, I haven't been there personally, so I can't show you personal pictures from that. But I have been to Battle of Saratoga battlefields, and so I will have pictures that I took at the end of this presentation. So hope you enjoy learning more about our history. So crossing the Delaware, very famous, one of my favorite American history paintings, in my opinion, which I have this framed in my classroom. If you're in my class, you know. Crossing the Delaware. So this was December 25th, Christmas Day, 1776. So the Continental Army, led by General George Washington, crossed Delaware on Christmas Day. So Battle of Trenton actually happened December 26, 1776. For 10 days, they battled in the freezing cold with British forces, although Hessian mercenaries were warned. And remember, the Hessians were those German soldiers that the British hired. So they were there. But anyway, they were warned of the Patriots approaching. They were exhausted and unprepared for the attack. The tough garrison of Hessians were defeated, and then the Patriots retreated and returned later to force British soldiers south. Ooh, it's a tongue-tied sentence. Okay. And then Battle of Princeton, and this was January 3rd, 1777. Next, they marched at night to capture Princeton. And Trenton and Princeton, they're all very close to each other. Once again, Patriots were victorious. Americans now controlled much of New Jersey. They only suffered 7 casualties, and that meant 5 were wounded and 2 were frozen to death. Yikes. However, the British troops suffered a greater, okay. That doesn't really make sense what I typed there, sorry. But they suffered a greater wave of casualties with 918 captured, 92 injured, 400 escaped, and 22 killed. American troops soon shared a sense of unity and heightened morale throughout the colonies. So this was a big deal for us as the Patriots. So just some famous pictures that you would see is Battle of Trenton here. There's Washington, and obviously they're attacking the Hessians. And then Battle of Princeton. Again, you see Washington there. So, again, these were really important battles for us because they both are located in New Jersey, and we gained that control, and which is what we needed because it's all about the land as well, right? And having that control. So it was very, very important. And so that was a really good step in the right direction for the Patriots. Now, later on, which this was the later that year, but Battle of Saratoga happened September 19th, 1777, and the Battle of Saratoga was the turning point of the American Revolution. When the Continental Army won this battle, the French were finally convinced that the Americans had a chance at winning the revolution. And this is going to be important later on because it's necessary that we had the French to help us through the war. So they took notice of this, so that is a very important thing. So Battle of Saratoga is actually 2 battles. It's very deceiving. And so when I went there, that was exactly what they told us. And so really it was the 2 battles were the Battle of Freeman's Farm and the Battle of Bemis Heights. General Gates led the American forces with the help of General Arnold. You may have heard of him. Benedict Arnold? Yeah. We'll learn about him more later, of course, but he relieved Arnold of his duties after an argument, and Americans lost the first battle. Although the British forces were exhausted, they continued to advance. Gates led a successful defense. However, Arnold came back to lead them into an aggressive attack, which caused the British troops to surrender. So because of the success, so we're going to learn, and you've probably heard, Benedict Arnold was a traitor. He played for both sides, and later on we'll discover that. But just to kind of give you some background of him. So people were not too pleased with with him, of course, later on, but at this time he was on the Patriot side, and he did do his part. So anyway, these are just some pictures I took when I went. This was when I went, it's when I went to Boston, so it was 2 summers ago. And so I did kind of a panoramic view. It's a really great viewpoint of everything, because this is on a hill overlooking everything. And again, there's another area, battlefield. This was kind of close to where the museum was. And then that just says anchor on the American line. And so they tried their best to mark points of where the Americans stood and where the British stood. So anything with the red, that's where the British were. Blue was where the Patriots or the Continental Army were located. Okay, so you can kind of see how things were laid out. The battlefields are beautiful. It's all green and lush, and it's something to, it's kind of an interesting thing, since there was, so much fighting and death that would happen on these on these very fields. So it's very powerful to be there in person. The other interesting thing is, and my pictures kind of got cut off from this video, but these, this is Benedict Arnold's monument. It's not his actual grave, but it is his monument. They did still want to recognize him, so they called it the Boot Monument. So this is on this side of it, and then this side has the words written on here. The Boot Monument on the battlefield commemorates the heroism of Benedict Arnold in the conflict when he was wounded in the foot. They still want to recognize him. According to legend, Arnold, as a British general, asked an American captive in Virginia what the Americans would do with him. And the monument was dedicated to, and they say, the most brilliant soldier of the Continental Army, but does not mention Arnold by name. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to say, but down here it just says Major General. And to kind of zoom in, it says, in memory of the most brilliant soldier of the Continental Army who was desperately wounded on the spot. And then it says 7th October 1777, winning for his countrymen I can't read that, sorry, Battle of the American Revolution, and for himself the rank of Major General. Nothing. So there's no mention of Arnold's name on there. Because he was a traitor, they didn't want to mention that, but they did still want to recognize the fact that he got wounded and he helped win this battle. It was very, very important for us at that time. So that was kind of the compromise. So no mention of his name there, which I found really interesting. So there you have it. It's just a little more information about some of the battles. I think there's 2 Liberty Kids videos, because there's a separate one for Trenton and a separate one for Saratoga. I highly recommend you watch both. It'll give you more of a full picture of what happened, and you can kind of see it in action for that. So anyway, I hope you learned a little more about our American history, and I believe that is all I have for today. All right, see you later.